Hey guys, this is Meg and you're watching my channel. Welcome to the wild. And I wanted to introduce you to the longest living male beta I've ever had. He has lived for exactly 2 months and he seems to be doing really well. He doesn't have any bacterial infections or fungal infections, and as you can see, he has a filter. I used the sponge to deal with the filter flow so the current isn't too strong. But he's definitely the smallest little male beta I've ever had. And I did name him Nightwing after a very special beta that I had, and also because I liked the character Nightwing from Batman and Robin. He was once Dick Grayson, also Robin, and eventually when he became a superhero, he chose the name Nightwing, and he eventually became his own character. So this is Nightwing. I have no idea what kind of beta he is, but he's beautiful. And I'm really hoping that he'll be able to live a long and healthy life. In case you're wondering what I feed my betas, I actually asked my sister to send me a container of this. This is omega-1, and the reason I feed my betas this is because everything is quite natural. Like if you read the ingredients on the back, it says whole salmon, and it goes on to mention all the other good things that are in it. But specifically, I have never come across a beta who did not like omega-1. I actually had a beta who just recently passed away. His name was Flash, and he was a red veiltail. He really did not like the brand of food that we have in Taiwan, which was sad because it was a really good brand. He just didn't like the feel of it in his mouth, I think. And so I would have to give him omega-1. And I wanted you guys to take a look at the top of the tank. You can see what type of plants I have. These plants are doing quite well. I have Anubias, which is the big green leafy thing, and the plant in the corner is purple waffle. But the one that I'm surprised to see doing well is this plant in the back. It's kind of long and it's got several leaves, and it's supposed to be in the back of the tank. I like to kind of put plants in the corner so my fish has more room to swim. Now, some of you are looking at this tank and you might be thinking it's a little small. It is. It's not a big tank, and there's a reason I did that was because since I don't have success with keeping betas alive in 3 to 5 gallon tanks, particularly betas that are male, I was thinking maybe they're dying due to the size of tank shock, because I've had betas die from tank shock. So he's been in here for the last 2 months, and he's gonna stay in here until he can reach a certain point where he lives at least a year. If he can, I'm actually going for 6 months. If he can go past 6 months, then we'll move on to a year. If he lives after a year, then I will upgrade his tank. But for his size and the fact that it's not easy to get these guys to live, he'll be staying in this tank. And as you see, I have a divider because next to him is my little koi female, Liberty. So yeah, this is his tank, and he has gravel and gemstones and a beta cave. I kind of set up my tanks relatively the same way. Basic idea, plants so the water stays clean, and so the betas have something interesting. They have gravel and plants, and really just setting up a very simple way of creating a tank. This is a channel for beginners and maybe for people who would like to have a tank but they feel overwhelmed by everything you need for your tank. And as I mentioned again, for those of you who are watching, I don't have a heater in any of my tanks because Taiwan is incredibly hot. Now I do have 7 heaters just in case the weather drops, but it usually doesn't. It's incredibly hot. In fact, you can see Liberty in the corner. She's trying to say hello. She's a koi. In fact, let me put the light on for her, and then you can see what she looks like. This is Liberty, and she is a beautiful little koi. And when I first got her, she was pink, blue, and red. But as you can see, she changed color on the other side. She turned turquoise. And this is her tank. It is larger than Nightwing's. And I pretty much have the same plants, except for this one. This is an awesome plant. This is called Wisteria. And it's a stem plant. And what's really cool about this plant is the first time you get it, it literally just looks like a stem. And it has a few leaves. And if you put it in this way, it'll grow this way. If you set it out like this, it'll grow outward. So basically, and then it grows a root. So I chose to grow it this way, and I grew a bunch of it, and I put a whole bunch on top like this. And then I made an island for one of my tanks, which I'll introduce later. So this is Liberty, and she's one of my females. And her neighbor is Nightwing. Nightwing, where are you, bud? There you are. And as you can see, he's a happy guy. So these are 2 of my betas. And the water's clean. And I don't know, they're happy. So this is my video. And it's going to be a while before I post anything. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. If you'd like to see a topic about something, you could drop a suggestion. But hopefully you just like seeing my fish and sort of hearing my journey about how I kind of got into betas. Yeah, and they're just such beautiful fish. And I really just want to have videos of them. Because, when they've gone and their time is up, I can at least remember them. Yeah. But also, I hope my channel will help you. And who knows, maybe some of you will see this and you'll say, hey, I think I could have a pretty good sized tank that isn't too large or too small, and I could make it a certain way and be creative. And I don't know, it's just something I like doing. I like aquascaping. I don't like using hardscaping such as lights because, not lights, stones, like really large stones. And I don't particularly like driftwood. I tried driftwood, but some of the driftwood I bought was painted, and they would change my water like a different color. And I don't know, this just seems to be the easiest way to construct a very simple tank. Putting a nice little cave or an island of plants and just having space for my fish to swim. I don't know, they don't seem unhappy. They're always swimming happily and feeling happy. And as I mentioned, they really love omega-1. If you guys don't have frozen foods or live foods, this is a really good pellet to have. You can find it in America anywhere. Anyways, I hope that you enjoy my video. Sorry for my hand. I have to video and move things at the same time. But thank you for just taking the time to listen and to really enjoy just watching what I have. And yeah, so have a good night. Please live in peace and try not to worry about things that are going on right now. I would say listen, watch carefully, and if you're not a person of prayer, pray to God. Really, a lot of times when I feel overwhelmed or stressed, praying really helps. And I think too, just talking to your friends, what you feel worried about, um, maybe writing. Some people like to write out their feelings. For me, I like cleaning out my fish tanks. I know that sounds funny, but I really enjoy doing water changes and checking the plant leaves to make sure there's no decaying leaves. And if there are, cutting them, trimming the roots, making sure the water's clean, adding the API water conditioner and plant food to make sure that the plants stay green. I don't use root tabs, and obviously I don't use aquarium soil. These things are quite expensive, but the liquid fertilizer that I have seems to work really well. And sometimes I'll put in a little more for the plants that are supposed to have aquarium soil, only because they need that to keep them alive. But as far as I can tell, this particular plant does really well if I don't put it in the gravel. As long as it has roots, it can feed off the liquid fertilizer. So if you want to buy some of this, you can. I really don't know the name, but it is a tall plant. You would actually have to have like a large tank, or you cut off a piece of the stem or a part of the plant once it grows off, and you can, use it in your tank if it's smaller. Like, as I said, this channel is for people who have tanks that are like 3 to 5 gallons. It's not meant for, tanks that are incredibly large. Anyways, I hope you enjoy it. Take care and God bless.